Hello everybody, my name is Cedric Hood. This video is not intended for children. I'm a comic book writer and I own a publishing company called Pull No Punches Productions. So basically, I'm here to give you advice and tips for creating your first comic book. Speaking of first comic book, this is my first comic book I had published back in 2014. It's called The Traumatic Case of Patient 25. It's a one-shot black and white story. It consists of 36 pages and it tells the entire story in 36 pages. And I'm about to show you my second book, so give me 1 second. My second book is called Red Rose Resort. This was published back in 2016. It's another one-shot story. It consists of 28 pages. And I'm going to show you an anthology that I contributed an 8-page story to. This is the book I helped contribute an 8-page story to. It's called Zombies Were Human Too. It was created by Austin Janowski. Thanks, Austin, again for letting me be a part of this book. It's an awesome book. So if you can find it, I think you can find it on Amazon. So let me get started. First off, this video is basically intended for comic book writers. If you're a comic book artist, you really don't need to hear anything about this because you probably already know. So first off, if you want to be a comic book writer, you need to write. I know you probably heard that before, but it's true. It's absolutely true. If you can't write every day, write every other day. If you can't write every other day, write every weekend. If you don't know how to write a script, Google it. Google will be your greatest friend. After you have your story, you write out your characters, you write out your world, you need to think of a title. Make sure the title you pick hasn't been chosen or isn't published by anybody else, because you don't want to go through that. The next thing after that, what you do, you have to realize that a comic book consists of pencils, inks, colors, and letters. Now, when you're looking for an artist, most artists do pencils and inks. Some only do pencils, but I prefer you find an artist that can do pencils and inks because you don't want to basically hire an inker separately from the pencils because it's going to cost a lot of money. Making a comic book is very, very expensive. I don't care what anybody says. If it's your first book, I want you to make it as cheaply as possible. Why? Since you're a first-time comic book writer, you're going to make mistakes. There's no going around that. So the cheaper you make it, if it does turn out, great. If it doesn't, hey, you didn't spin a grip. So yeah, find an artist that you can hire that does pencils and inks. Color is optional. My first book was a black and white, so I didn't have a black and white book, so I didn't have to hire a colorist. So letters, you can find a letterer pretty cheap. There's so many letterers you can hire. So basically the idea of comic book writing is I want you to tell a story that only you can tell. That's how you find your style of writing. If there is a book that you wish was out on the shelves in comic book stores, that's the book you should make. So basically that's the whole gist of writing comic books. It's for you to create your own world. It's basically your Bible. You're your own God. You can choose what happens to your characters. It sounds a bit egotistical, but it's fun. It's very fun. I want you to enjoy creating comics because it's going to get tedious at times. It's going to get frustrating at times. Life happens. Sometimes things go on. You may not have the money, or your artist, he or she may be going through some things and they're going to need extra time, and you expect the book to come out a certain time, but it doesn't. It may come out a month later, a year later. Making comics is about collaboration. So if you have something in your head a certain way and the artist comes to you like, hey, I read the script, but can I do it this way? Let them do it that way. Don't be so constricted and your script on it should be this way, it should be that way. No, the person should be holding this. Unless it's important to the story. Other than that, you should give the artist freedom to do what they want. I'm going to give more advice on the cost and how much you should spend in a later video. So I hope you like the video, and I hope you subscribe, because I think next week I'm going to do video 2. So you have a great day.